Hi beauties, welcome back to my channel. It's Ashley aka Ashhnyc and I'm back today with a new video. As you can tell from the title, today's topic is hair growth. Okay, so if you've been following my journey for some time, you know that last March I got a haircut that I didn't really want. I went to get my hair shaved and ended up getting a bunch of inches chopped off of my hair. I did a video on it. If you have not seen that video, please watch it now. I was devastated at the time, but I took some time to grow my hair back. It's been almost a year now. I think we're about 9-10 months post the cut, and I want to say that my hair, or the majority of my hair, has grown back, thankfully, and it's grown back pretty well. I would say it's grown back thicker, a lot of definition. It looks good. Okay, so I wanted to share with you guys what I personally have been doing to grow my hair back and some tips that I want to give you. I can put some before and afters, how my hair looked as soon as I got it cut, and then this is 10 months post. So as you can tell, lots of growth. My hair is super healthy and I'm just loving where I'm at, and I wanted to, you know, share the wealth. Now the topic of hair growth is very tricky, so there are some disclaimers that I just want to put on the table. Okay, now first things first, everybody's hair is different, meaning it grows at different rates. There are a whole lot of factors that come into play: genetics, how you take care of your hair health, what you eat, your personal diet. There's so many things that come into play with hair growth, so it's never a one size fits all. I can give you my experiences and what worked for me and what I found to be helpful, and just some general tips and tricks that I think could be helpful to you, but of course you have to tweak it and see what works. So many nuances, I feel like, with hair growth, that you have to take everything that I say and that anybody says, honestly, with a grain of salt. Also, I just want to say health is wealth. Prioritize health over length, because at the end of the day your hair can be super long and super unhealthy, breaking, dry, all that. So I would say prioritize health over length, in my personal opinion. That being said, this is what has helped me in the past 10 months to grow my hair back post that big chop slash haircut slash fiasco. If you haven't seen that video, you really must see it, because it's some stuff. Okay, so the first tip I have is make sure that you are adequately cleaning your scalp. I spoke a little bit about this on my Instagram, which if you haven't been following my Instagram, you really should. There's a lot of the gems on there. But health is wealth. I say this all the time. So the health of your scalp is going to be the most important when you want your hair to grow. It's important for you to cleanse your scalp thoroughly and often to avoid the buildup of bacteria, the buildup of products. I know as naturals sometimes we're supposed to use a quarter size, a little dime size, whatever the case may be, but we get crazy with the product. So imagine not washing your hair for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and all of that product is literally just building up on your scalp. Of course your scalp is going to be flaky, your scalp is going to be dry. There's so much built up there, and you know your hair grows from the root, girl, so you have to make sure that your roots are watered and taken care of, well taken care of, in order for your hair to grow. My personal cadence for cleansing my scalp is I cleanse my scalp once a week. So whether or not I'm regular shampooing or using a cleanser, apple cider vinegar, whatever the case may be, I make sure that at least once a week I'm getting in there. Like, you know, you used to go to the Dominican salons and they used to have the lady with the nails really get in there. Yes, that's what you need to be doing. Obviously don't scrub your head off, but make sure that your roots are clean every time you're about to do a new style. Tip number 2 is to make sure that you're moisturizing your hair. Water is the key. There's so much power in water for hydration. You can't hydrate your hair with products or oils. You have to start with water. So what I do personally is I spray my hair down a couple times a week, just to make sure that my hair is getting hydration from water. So obviously that's not going to be the case if you have a silk press, or if you have like a stretch twist out, or a manipulated style, or whatever the case may be. But as much as you can incorporate water into your routine, please do so. My hair really likes and really takes well to me spraying down. So I sleep with it in a pineapple, and in the morning I'll just kind of lightly spray down just to give it a little bit of water in the morning. Same way I would hydrate myself, I hydrate my hair with water. You can't hydrate your hair with oils or butters or whatever the case may be. I would start with water and then either lock it in the LOC method, or I know some people do LCO, whatever the case may be. Make sure water is the base of your styling routine if possible and when possible. Tip number 3 is to take your time with your hair. Now, I know that sounds so cliche, but think about how many times you're dreading wash day, you're running through wash day, and when you're detangling, you're literally just ripping your hair out. Look, sometimes you have to take a step back and be patient with your hair. One thing that I have found to be really helpful is I sit down when I detangle my hair, because if I feel like I'm standing for too long, I'm just like, all right, enough. Like, I'm about to start pulling. Let's not. I would suggest sitting down when you're detangling. Like, I will sit pretzel style in the tub if I have to and take my time to detangle, because your hair is so fragile when it's wet. And sometimes when we're detangling, using whatever we're using, whether it's a wide tooth comb or a detangling brush, we can really rush the process and really pull our hair out. So my suggestion is to just take your time when styling it. Take your time, especially when detangling it. I feel like that's when us naturals really just get crazy, because we run out of patience with our hair, and that's how we end up breaking our hair, and that's why we don't see any growth. What I personally do is I finger detangle, so I'll like try to get the big knots out, and then I will go in with a wide tooth comb and then finish detangling. Some people like to use a detangler brush, a Denman brush, or finger detangle all of the way. I find that I get very impatient when I finger detangle, so it's easier for me to just use a wide tooth comb. So find what works for you, but make sure that whatever you're doing is with patience, because you can easily just rip and tear your hair. And I know that it happens, because it happens to me too, especially when we get impatient. Tip number 4 is to stick to a routine. So that means you're not using new products every time you wash your hair, new products every time you style your hair. What I found in this time is I found a nice shampoo, conditioner, deep conditioner styling combo that works for me. Obviously, I use different products when I wash and go versus twist out, or wash and go versus braid out, or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, I'm using the same products every week that work for me. I feel like putting my hair on a routine is helpful for not only for me and my pockets. What I didn't want to do is just try all types of things on my hair, especially during this time. I didn't need to be experimental. I just needed to stick to a good routine that I know my hair liked, that kept my hair hydrated, and I did that for the better part of a year. My actual hair care routine is I cleanse once a week, like I said, and I deep condition once a week, and then I'll keep my wash and goes for about a week if they can last. My wash and go gets really frizzy around day 4 or 5, so sometimes that's when I have to like spray it down and start fresh. I just spray my hair down soaking wet and restyle. Now that obviously may not work for you, but I think as long as you have a routine with your hair and you're sticking to it, taking out the variables, like not experimenting with new products, and I would just stick to the things that I know that work, the tried and true products. Now if you're looking for some tried and true products that work for me, I have both my wash and go video that you can watch, or my twist out video that you can watch. I swear by those products. Those are the products that I use when I'm doing my styles. You can try those out, but I would just recommend finding what works for you and sticking to it. Tip number 5 is to use protective styles or gentle styles. So what I personally did was I got a sew-in 3 times. In the last 10 months that I was growing my hair back. I got 3 sew-ins and I got braids for a month. The braids I did right after I got my hair cut because I was in devastation, but the sew-ins I sprinkled across the next couple of months. I just find those to be helpful, just to kind of give my hair a break from the constant manipulation, the constant styling, the everyday styling, and just put it away for a little bit. What I will say is that if you are putting your hair away in protective styles and not taking care of your scalp, getting counterproductive. So what you shouldn't do is go get braids for a month and then never wash it, never cleanse your scalp, never oil your scalp, never touch your scalp. Like, that is a problem. I wouldn't recommend doing that. When I had my hair in braids, I was constantly giving myself scalp rubs. I was cleansing my hair. I used dry shampoo once, but I actually just went in and like shampooed just my roots, because sometimes when you try to wash your hair with braids, it gets really heavy. So I just shampooed my roots, like went in braid by braid, shampooed it, and then rinsed it out with water. That way the dry time wasn't bad, but I was still taking care of my scalp in those protective styles. So my recommendation to you is, if you're going to do those styles, which I think are helpful, make sure that you are continuously taking care of your scalp and taking care of your roots so that your hair can grow. And then what I mean by gentle styling is not super tight buns, not super tight ponytails. You just don't want to have tension on your scalp. I feel like that is where you lose hair. Try to do like low tension styles. Wash and go, very low tension. Braid outs, very low tension. Twist outs, very low tension, versus like tight buns and ponytails every day. Like, I think those do more harm than good, even though they're considered protective styling. You get me? You get it? And my last tip for healthy hair growth for now, because I didn't want to make this video too long, is to trim your hair. Now you're about to be like, Ashley girl, what are you talking about? You went to go get your hair trimmed, you got inches taken off, you were devastated. I know. Go to somebody you trust, okay? Go to somebody and tell them exactly what you want. Have a stylist show you how much they're cutting off, you know, all of that that I said in the last video. But I will say that after I did my braids and my first sew-in, I did get my hair trimmed. My friend Danielle, she's at Elle Divine Styles. She is a licensed hairstylist and she trimmed my hair, and I was so afraid. I was so afraid, but I'm telling you right now, get on a trim schedule. The reason why I say that for me personally is I get single strand knots. So after a while, I can feel the ends of my hair and just know it is time for a trim, meaning that there will be knots. They'll be super frizzy. My whole head will curl up beautifully and my ends will just frizz. It'll throw off my whole style. Now I know some people say get a trim every 8 to 10 weeks. Some people say get a trim 3 times a year. Whatever works for you and whatever you're comfortable with. But I will say that split ends will literally just travel up the shaft, and next thing you know, the whole strand is broken. The whole strand is broken and irreplaceably damaged. So I would just recommend snipping it off before the split goes any further. Look at your ends, feel your ends, see if they need a trim, and don't fight it. Just get the trim, okay? You will thank you, and you will thank me later. Okay, so those are the tips that I have for you guys today. I, of course, have more, but I didn't want to make this video too long. But what I will say is that sticking to a routine and just taking very good care of your hair is going to help you with hair growth more than you can imagine. I would encourage you to keep doing your healthy habits, keep taking care of your hair in the ways that you know how, continue to do research on how to take care of your hair. I'm obviously here. If you guys, feel free to DM me on Instagram or write me here. Comment below if you have any questions, but I'm happy to help. I've seen some growth in the last 10 months, thankfully, because your girl was devastated, okay, when that had happened. I would just encourage you, like I said a million times, get into those healthy habits with your hair. Make sure that you're taking really good care of your hair, and make sure you're taking really good care of your body, and you will see growth, I promise. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you found this video helpful. Give this video a thumbs up and comment if you have any questions. Subscribe if you have not already, and I'm gonna see you guys in my next video. Bye.